Hey everyone, Chris here, and today I wanted to talk about where people typically go wrong with match betting once they start trying it out for themselves. I've found that there's a few common places where people tend to trip up, and it results in them either losing a little bit of money or really just knocks their confidence when doing match betting. And that can be a big thing because you're trying out this new challenge, this new way of making money that most people haven't done before. I think I've said before that most people that try Profit Squirrel, that try match betting, have never placed a bet before. So understandably, you're a little bit cautious when it comes to the first few things that you do. And if you make a mistake, that can really throw you off and knock your confidence. And that's sad to see because they're missing out on this whole world of abundance, really, that is there for the taking, as long as you sort of keep your confidence up and understand what you're doing. So here I am on Profit Squirrel. This is my match betting site where we teach people exactly what they need to do to make money with match betting. You don't have to join, but it is free to do so. What I'm going to do is log in to the profile I always use when I'm showing people stuff on my screen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you why it should work out, why match betting should work out. So for some of you, this will look familiar. If you're not sure what these tools are and what they do, then don't worry about that. You can see that in other videos. But essentially what we have here is the odds matcher, which shows us different sports events that we can place match bets on. And that's basically how you make money with match betting. And then within this, you have something called the odds calculator. And what we do here is we punch in a few different numbers and it tells us what we need to do when placing the bets. So with like the bookmakers and the betting exchanges. Now, the reason match betting has to work is because this is all mathematical. This is a calculator, as the name suggests. And so essentially what you've got is a guaranteed outcome. So you can see, this is imagining I'm placing a £10 bet and it's telling me to lay £12. Again, if these terms are new, maybe check out some of the other videos or have a little bit more of a read about match betting and you'll understand what I'm saying here. But even if you don't understand what I'm saying, just take it as an example of how when you put one figure in, the £10, you get another figure out, the £12. And we can change this to £20, that changes to 24, £40, whatever you want to put in. You can change any of these figures and the calculator will do the work behind the scenes. So as a match bettor, it's really easy, and you can find match betting calculators like in a few different places on our site, and there's a free one as well that we offer. Just search for Profit Squirrel match betting calculator. This is what I think you need to search for, and you can use this absolutely free for working out your bets and things. And what it will do is, it just takes the hard work out of calculating and you're basically just punching numbers in. So if this all looks good and the technology works, which it does, where do people typically stumble? The first kind of obvious one, I suppose, is putting the wrong figures in here. So this calculator with Profit Squirrel, we try to make it super easy and we try to make it so that it's pretty hard to make a mistake. For example, see these numbers here, 1.9, 1.6. Those are the odds, and those are automatically populated into these boxes. But you could go ahead and change them to something completely different, and that would be a mistake. It's not that common for this to happen to people, but it is something we hear now and then at Profit Squirrel. We get a little bit of feedback to our support channels that someone has had something unexpected happen, and typically it's because they've put the wrong number in and the calculator sort of just does what you tell it to do. So it's given the wrong result, and someone's gone ahead, and they've maybe placed a bet at slightly different odds. It's typically not a major mistake, but it is one to be aware of. Number two, the most common mistake I think we see is people not checking the minimum odds. So if we go to the offer page, and these are just some of the offers available on Profit Squirrel. And let's pick this one, Betfred. Bet £10, get £30. I could have picked any one. But basically, to qualify, what you're going to do is place a bet on a sporting event at a certain odds. So, for example, in this one, the odds need to be at least 2.0 or greater. Now, this is mentioned in all the videos, and it's also always written in the summary. The summary is a good place to look for it, because when you know what you're doing with most of the styles of match betting, you can look at the summary and be like, okay, yeah, I get this. Like, bet this much, these are the minimum odds. Cool. You don't need to watch a 5-10 minute video to explain it all again. So yeah, always check out the summary just as a backup. If you don't bet at these odds, this 2.0 or greater, then you're not going to qualify for the free bet. So what that will mean is that you just make a qualifying bet and maybe make a small qualifying loss of a few pence, just like normal, but then you won't be eligible for the free bet. I think the reason people sometimes miss this is because they're excited to dive in, which is understandable. And also, let me show you on the odds matcher. The odds matcher is kind of set up to be able to do any offer you want. It's a bit of a universal tool. So I was just on that, was I on Bet365? I think I was on Bet365 just then. I select that here and hit search. Now it's actually going to show me a lot of events that are good matches, but they might not meet the minimum odd requirement. So here's a good example, Juventus versus Bologna. It's a great match, like a 99 out of 100 rating. 1.17, 1.17 are the odds. So I don't want to use that for my qualifying bet for this offer, because it's not going to give me the free bet. It might be useful for something else you're trying to do, but that's just something to be aware of. I would always use the filter here to go ahead and limit the odds. So like you can put a minimum odds of 2.0. And there we go. All of these are kind of suitable. So this Genoa Fiorentina, 2.05, 2.04, totally cool. So just take a moment to make sure you know the minimum odds of the offer that you're trying to complete. Whether you're doing that through Profit Squirrel, or maybe you've come across some other free bet, or someone's emailed you with a free bet. When you're match betting, always know what the minimum odds are. And if it's not on a site like Profit Squirrel, you can actually find it on the bookmaker site. So here we are. This particular one was odds of 1.2 or greater. I must have been looking at a different bookmaker offer, but that's a good example of why you want to get the odds exactly right. So another common mistake that I see people make when they're doing match betting is not using their free bets in time. So normally what happens is that a bookmaker will place a limit on the amount of time that the free bets are valid for. Most bookmakers are pretty generous with this. Like they'll give you 30 days. I think Bet365 that I've got on the screen here, using bet credits. Where is it? I saw it there somewhere. There we are. Okay, if you do not have settled bets within 30 days, your bet credits will be forfeit. So what that means is that once you got your free bet, you got to use it within 30 days. Some bookmakers like Coral, I think William Hill as well, they're a bit stricter. They do like 4 days or 5 days. So a good rule of thumb is just to be aware of when you're going to get your free bets credited, and make sure that you pretty much place your match immediately once you've got them. And then you won't have to worry about the free bets expiring. So how do you stop yourself falling foul of these? Well, I'd say the first thing is just take it a little bit slowly to start with. You'll find that it gets super easy once you've done it once or twice, and it really is. But like anything, there's just one or two things to be aware of, and you want to make sure that you are keeping an eye on those when you're going. So if you're using Profit Squirrel, awesome. Let me take you back to these offers here. And just make sure that you review the video and make sure that you actually are looking at the summary just to find out what the minimum odds are. Here are odds of 1.5 on this William Hill offer here. Really make sure that you're checking that those are being met. The second thing that I think can be really helpful, particularly when you're learning any new skill, and I'm sure without a doubt will help with Profit Squirrel or match betting, is get a friend to help you, and you can both start together. You can talk about the offers, and you'd be amazed at how talking about it with someone really helps your understanding. If you want, we have the Profit Squirrel members group, which is a fantastic place for meeting people and talking to people that are also doing this. There's a lot of discussion there of like best practices, people asking all sorts of questions. You don't have to use it, but it's there if you want it, and it's a great place. But whether you use Profit Squirrel or not, just find someone to talk about this with. Find someone who's there with you, and you can do it together, and that's amazingly motivating, as well as it's going to make sure that you don't make mistakes. Or you can reach out to me or the team. We love talking about match betting, and would be really happy to help with anything or discuss any ideas you have. So those are the initial pitfalls. I'd say watch out for them. If you do, you'll have a long and happy match betting career. Let me know if there's any pitfalls you've come across, anything you've fallen foul of with trying to learn match betting. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything you want me to cover in future videos. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe to Profit Squirrel. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you soon.